I thought it would be easy given the fact I knew sales.
Right.
And door-to-door has a lot more than just sales. It's like the mental, the physical. You're also like having to like be a part of a team even though you're knocking by yourself.
Totally.
But there's bigger goals besides your own goal, but you're not in charge, but you're in charge of like helping. It's so much more than what I thought it would be.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Door-to-Door Podcast. It's me, Hunter. We're back in the studio. No more remote studio today, so happy to be home. Today's going to be a good episode, guys. We actually have a very unique guest with a very interesting and pertinent background in the world of sales and marketing, here to share wisdom. Before I bring her on, let me read her bio really quick so you guys know who you're dealing with. Her name is Dante Strom. She's a powerhouse in the world of sales and marketing, with a solid track record of building go-to market strategies and driving growth across multiple industries. Dante has mastered the synergy of people, process, product, and performance, earning her the role of Director of Marketing at the Ranches Golf Club currently. With over 10 years of experience in sales and marketing, she's driven a dramatic surge in conversions and revenue by tightening sales processes, taking a more strategic approach to product offerings and pricing, and building a high-performance team culture that wins. A true maker of momentum, Dante continues to set the standard for result-driven leadership and strategic growth. Here to share some nuggets with you, door-to-door superstars, Dante Strom. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Happy to be here.
Are you?
Yeah.
It's not often we get a local to come up to our studio, so you should feel honored.
I do.
It'll be. Usually it's remote. Usually you guys can't see the studio, but she can. I have a Zoom attendee on that big screen back there, which all these camera poles are blocking. So I'm like trying to look at that. So it's nice to have someone in studio.
Yeah,
it really is. So Dante, before we get into the meat and potatoes of what we want to talk about, give our listeners a background. Who is Dante? Where'd you come from? What got you to where you are today? Just give us the Dante story.
All right, I'm happy to. It's a good one, I'll tell you. So my name is Dante Strom, and I have 2 boys. I also have 2 dogs, and I love to go hiking. I love cars. I love to travel, but I actually found a passion for sales really early on in my career. So that really carried me through a lot of hard times just because I had something to focus on, and I learned that it's something that if you master it, it applies to everything. So
totally,
it's really, really cool. And you guys have to cut this part because I'm taking a second. But
what was it like growing up in Utah? You're from Utah, right?
So I was born in Utah.
Okay.
But I did move around quite a bit. I moved to Oklahoma, Arizona, and then even moving back to Utah, I moved a couple times within Utah. So
okay.
My dad was in the military, and so he moved around a lot as a kid. And when his job said, you got to move, he said, I don't care, we're good. So he just moved us around all the time. But I've stayed in Utah just because I love it here. My family's here, and my kids, they love it too. So yeah, I plan on staying here for a while. But.
Totally. Utah's a good place to raise a family. I have 3 kiddos of my own. We're from California. But it's funny, I was in the door-to-door space, right? So a lot of the companies are headquartered here. So I was out in Utah a lot, very familiar with it. I used to say I'd never lived in Utah. My family, yes, everyone was like, "Oh, dude, I can't live in Utah. That Utah bubble, it's not for me." And life has a funny way of,
keeping us here,
bringing us here, and keeping us here. But I do love it, though. I will say, I love it. Being around good people, forward-thinking, high-level people, just everywhere. For the most part, it's been good.
Yeah,
it's been good.
I will say I miss Arizona, but
well, Holly, were you in
there?
Gilbert, Scottsdale area?
I was in Gilbert.
Oof. Yeah, Gilbert's nice.
That's a good spot.
Gilbert's nice.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell our listeners what got you into the world of sales and marketing? Was it like a planned thing that you've went to school for, or did you just happen to fall into it?
So I did not plan to fall into it. My career started at Subway.
Subway?
Yeah. And it's funny, I leave it on my resume to this day. People always joke about it, but I think it's kind of a humble brag of I'm not ashamed of where I came from, and I'll always talk about the lessons of what I learned, So I remember working at Subway and just being so frustrated by the processes I had to follow, the way that we were doing things, and just there's a lot that I was like, man, I wish I could change this, but like I'm just an employee, I can't do very much,
The suggestion box is only so big.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So I worked there for a couple of years, and then I got promoted to be a manager when I was 17, and I was like, wow, I'm so cool. Like I'm a manager at Subway, that was the coolest thing ever. And I realized that being a manager is a lot more than ordering the food and planning the schedules and just making sure people come to work. I was like, wow, if I really wanted to learn more about this, I would not be able to learn any of that at Subway. You know what I mean?
Totally, yeah.
So that's where I realized that a lot of the jobs that I wanted to have, I had to be 18 to get, which is pretty standard. So I kind of just waited it out like, hey, I don't know what I want to do, but I know it's not this. So the second I turned 18, I went on KSL, that like local job search board. And I was looking through tons of jobs, and the majority of them, I was like, wow, that'd be so cool. But like, I'm not qualified, or like, wow, that'd be so cool, but I don't even know anything about that. And kind of settled with applying for dumb, like one-off jobs, and didn't really get anywhere because I just had a Subway on my resume. You know what I mean? So I, after about a week or so of looking for work, came across a job that I realized was my dream job, which I'll tell you what it is. It's really random, but I wanted to control what was going into stores, whether it be food, clothing, brands. I wanted to know what that decision-making process was, because I was so frustrated by going into a store and having to choose from their offerings. I'm like a 17-year-old, right? I'm over here like, what do I want to do, right? And so there was a job to become a account executive, pretty much selling to corporate buyers on behalf of brands. And it had all these qualifications, and I did not reach. I didn't hit any of them. And I remember just thinking like, I should just do it anyway. I was like, no, like I'm just going to get rejected. And I was like, okay, but I've already been rejected a lot, so you might as well do it anyway. So here I am submitting my resume with literally like Subway on it. And it's like massive job, right? And they're a massive company. They just happened to have an opening in Utah. And I got an interview, and I was just thinking like, what is happening? So I went to the interview, and they offered me the job on the spot. And I was like,
what?
Okay, this is crazy. Like imposter syndrome. Like, did I lie? Like kind of going through my mind of like, and they gave me a shot because I was willing to learn, and I was really humble, and I wanted to grow. And so that was my first marketing job, where I was able to go into that space and do something I liked, but I fell into it by accident. And that job was amazing. But unfortunately, it ended with me not working there, quitting voluntarily. But I had a 5-year non-compete that they were very good at the legal side of it, if you know what I mean. So I literally for 5 years couldn't do anything related to my dream job, which was marketing any of the customers, clients. Like it was very detailed. So I went into my dream space, got it really easily, and then was like non-competed out of it. And I was just like, are you kidding me?
You had to leave the industry entirely, not just a competing company.
I had to leave the industry entirely, and I can tell you a vague story, but Shark Tank, brands go on there, they get a deal, and then that person works with them to help grow their business. That happened with one of the brands we were working with, but when that shark backed out, they came to our company and we said, sure, we'll help you. And I went to Kroger, and I'm in a boardroom, I'm 19, and I'm presenting to buyers, and I'm saying, here's our PowerPoint, here's the product, try the sample, here's what you can do, like sign this paper, like the whole shebang. And that shark that backed out decided that because they had success, that he was going to go back on it, which the contract let him. So he came after the company for having meetings without his presence, because he was now a shareholder, even though he wasn't initially. So it was a whole thing, and I had to leave to not be sued. And I was like, I'm only 19. I just worked at Subway. Like you know what I mean? It's just crazy, dude. So I was like, I was going to leave. It's okay. I'm not competed out. I'll just figure it out. And that is where I said, okay, it's time for me to learn sales, because marketing, you know a little bit about sales, but to really learn sales is like, it's a beast.
Totally.
It's a beast. And I had to do that again. I feel almost like involuntarily, because I got non-competed out. But so marketing got into it like that, and then sales got into it like that. But once I started doing sales, I realized I'm really good at it, even though I never thought I would ever do it, nor did I ever want to do it. But there's just some things that either come naturally to you, or if you spend enough time on them, you get really good at.
Totally.
And sales is one of those things, and it's definitely a passion now. So
I love it. So what was your first sales gig after the non-compete issue?
So my first sales gig after that, I worked at you'll laugh, but I had to go to a completely different industry, right? And so I was an account executive for a medical credentialing and revenue cycle management company for medical claims and insurance companies. None of those words made any sense to me after that. I left for marketing. I was like, sure, I'll figure this out. But I did that for a little bit and I didn't love it, but I was good at it. And then I really got into sales when I worked in Medicare health insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Because they do something kind of like door to door where it's a busy season and an off season.
Totally.
And in the busy season, you go all out.
And
it's
I think we're getting into the busy season for Medicare, right? Yeah.
They're in it right now.
Yeah.
But that was my big, like, I got to learn sales and just do well at this. Because if I do, I can make a lot of money.
Totally.
So I went all in on that. And that's where I got really good at sales. And it was fun. It was like, I was waking up so excited. Like, what objections am I going to get today? Like, I bet you I know how to overcome all of them. Like, how am I going to isolate their objection? Is it a smoke screen? Like, just the thoughts I was having, it was just so exciting to like be in something I cared about. And it wasn't marketing. And that was weird because it was like, I'm like counting down the years I can go back. You know?
Totally.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny.
So you did that. And then what after?
So after that, then I actually did some door to door.
Here we go.
Yeah, I did some door to door. I worked for WaterQuest selling water softeners.
Okay.
And I was good at it. I liked it, but I wanted more the leadership, if you will.
Sure.
And so I think learning the sales, doing door to door, and then realizing where my passions are, which is leadership, marketing, but I have all that experience with sales, finding a role that ties all of that together. And that's where after I did door to door, I was able to go back into marketing, right?
Sweet.
So I was like, okay, like I can go back into marketing. And I got headhunted by a big company just because I spent some time on my LinkedIn and my resume and, just kind of got discovered, if you will. But it was the craziest thing because as far as I was concerned, just did 5 years of just like sales, I wasn't marketing anything but the product to like the people.
Oh, yeah.
So then I got back into marketing and I, with all my sales knowledge, coupled that with my marketing. And that's where I was like, I'm a powerhouse.
Yeah.
I'm unstoppable. And it got to the point where it wasn't me believing that. It was people like, I didn't even know telling me like, you're doing awesome. Like, it was just like, wow, So marrying those together really created what I am today. And now that I understand the different sides of it and why I like what I like and why I do what I do, that's where I feel like I love what I do because I created it. I didn't just fall into it and just like say, oh, well, it just happened to me. And like, I had to fight for both sides of this. And now I'm in that happy middle ground.
I love it. Good for you. Talk to me about your door-to-door stint. What was that like?
So I thought it would be easy given the fact I knew sales.
Right.
And door-to-door has a lot more than just sales. It's like the mental, the physical. You're also like having to like be a part of a team, even though you're knocking by yourself.
Totally.
But there's bigger goals besides your own goal, but you're not in charge, but you're in charge of like helping, it's so much more than what I thought it would be. So going back to, you were talking a little bit earlier about how I was shy when I was younger. And I never thought I would do sales. I never thought I'd go door to door. And I never thought that I would be sitting here talking about this. So when I did door to door, I think it brought up a lot of things that I had been suppressing, like in terms of not becoming my best self. And I had to address those in order to become my best self when I was on the doors.
Totally.
And I was not expecting that, I'll be honest with you. Because I was like, I'll just knock the door, I'll smile, they'll say, oh, she's nice, and they'll buy for me. I read the script and no.
Yeah.
Not even. So I learned a lot of lessons from door to door, but I would say the biggest one is that mental is the biggest side of it. And if you have that locked in, you just keep going, it will work out for you. You just can't stop. And that was huge. That was huge for me.
Yeah, that's a big takeaway, and it's very true. A door-to-door sales, like it teaches you about yourself very fast, and you can have what I loved about it, like my time in door-to-door sales was you can just have the best day ever, right? You can just, those days, the seller's high is real. You're just leaving your third deal of the day. For different industries, that's nothing. You're leaving your eighth deal of the day. I'm sorry, whatever, and you're going home and you're on top of the world, right? You wake up the next morning and you kind of have this like, how did I do that? Like, can I duplicate that?
Yeah.
I gotta go out and do it again. Like, that was a lot, you know what I mean? And you just have to just push yourself and just face your demons and become the best version of yourself if you want to have a thriving career in it, for sure.
You versus you. Like, I remember the second or third week of doing door to door and just being like, I think I'm just going to wait till I can go back into marketing and just not do, like, it was like, I'm just going to quit. Like, I'm just going to stop. And I remember even right now, I always push my people, like, don't quit, like, keep going. But I remember having those moments and it was like every other day, like, I want to like quit, And when you have those good days, I remember just thinking, how do I harness the energy of these good days and replicate that without having the success? Like, how do I have these good feelings, whether I have a good day or not? Because whenever I am able to feel like I had a good day or be proud of myself or focus on my strengths or what I'm improving on, I would have better days because I'm focused on what I'm doing good at. And I remember at the end of the day, just kind of like being in the shower, just like standing there, but the water is just like all over me. And I'm just thinking like, okay, the next time I have a really good day, I'm going to stand here and think, how do I feel? And then I'm going to replicate that on all my bad days. And it took a couple weeks of like really noticing that. But I remember this because it's changed my life. I remember that feeling of, okay, awesome. I'm killing it. I'm crushing it. Like I'm on like the top of the world, that feeling. And I remember the day after having the worst day ever and being able to replicate that and being like, this feels weird, but I'm just going to keep like feeling like this even when I have bad days. And it got to a point where regardless of what my days were like, I felt good. And then all of a sudden you're having really good days back to back to back. And it's a numbers game, or still bad days. Yeah. But then when you have enough good days in a row, you realize, wow, they were good because I made them good. Not because there were different people on the other side of the door. It's because I approached that situation differently. And when you have enough of those days and you trust yourself to be able to get back in that headspace, you can do that over and over and over to the point where that's the rest of your life. Like you're able to just tap into that, and just maintain that level of confidence and like security and like, what you're doing, what you're selling, you trust yourself, you're a good person, that you're not doing anything bad. Like these things that help you maintain that level of trust in yourself and the customer. The process works. The customer will buy. It's just, you got to show up as the best version of yourself.
Totally.
Tongue twister.
I know. Did you have anything you would do in the mornings to try to like get into the best version of yourself? You know what I mean? Like, did you have a process or routine before hitting the doors? Or was it just kind of like
100% did not at the beginning.
Right.
And I noticed some people did and some people didn't. And I was like, I just probably won't. It's like, I don't need it.
Yeah. Totally.
And then when I started to really try to tap into like those good days and like getting more of those good days and getting more success, I realized that those are in direct correlation with the days I had my morning routines. And you start realizing again, like you were the only person in your way. Like if you have the time in the morning to take care of yourself, your brain, your body, all the things you need to before you go out and knock, even if it's 2 hours in the morning, like, wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Guess what? So what? Yeah. You just do it,
Yeah.
And when you do that, you realize by the time you're out there knocking on the door, it's not you just like waking up and you're just like, man, I'm freezing. It's like, no, you've prepared to kick ass. Like you have to. And I thought that was negotiable at first, and it's not. Even for right now, like coming before I came here, I'm like with Eminem in the car, like, you got to get in the zone. You got to believe in yourself and channel that energy because that's where success is. It's not in the negativity or the excuses.
No, absolutely. For our listeners right now that are door knocking as their main source of income, what would be your biggest piece of sales advice to them? Not just sales specific advice for door-to-door sales reps.
I would say that you have to work harder for some sales than others, and that's normal. I think people think that it's not normal. It's normal. It's weird to get an easy one. You don't think they're all going to be easy.
They feel good.
They feel good, but it's a numbers game. And the numbers are like you work hard and you get what you get because you worked hard for it. So just keeping in mind that you get what you get out of it and what you put into it.
Totally. So. I also feel like, as a salesperson, you develop a process, right? You have the process of this is how I pitch. This is how I transition. These are going to be am I going to be question-based selling? Am I going to ask these questions here, there, at the end? Everyone has a process and they're fine-tuning that they're developing. And sometimes when there's a sale that requires you to step out of your process, I feel like it throws salespeople for a loop, right? You're just like, for example, you walk into a home to sit down and you have the proposal made, whatever industry that you're in, you have everything you're prepared, right? Ready to go, start from the top, just flow down to the close. And you meet with the person, it's like, all right, just give me the numbers. They just completely break your process.
Yeah.
I feel like it's difficult in those moments for salespeople to realize that they have to, in some ways, I don't recommend people like completely changing their approach to each sale, particularly based off of their customers' energy or whatever, because then you kind of like relinquish control to the buyer and then you've lost. But you do have to pivot. You have to meet them where they're at. And then sometimes they can throw salespeople for a loop. They're just like, well, I need to make sure that you're pre-qualified first. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like you're hurting yourself. So being prepared, like you just said, and realize that not all sales are the same. Being ready for that is definitely important. I think it's a good piece of advice.
Mark your calendars and grab your tickets because we are back on January 22nd through the 24th, 2026 in Salt Lake City, Utah. 3 days where industry legends, top CEOs, and breakthrough innovators gather to share the strategies shaping our industry. Witness the prestigious Golden Door Awards honoring the elite performers who've achieved what others only dream of. Network with over 2,800 door-to-door professionals across all industries ranging from solar, roofing, fiber, alarms, pest control, HVAC, and beyond. Founded by Sam Taggart, this is where careers are transformed and million-dollar connections are made. Visit D2DCon.com, click the D2DCon 9 button at the top right, and secure your spot at the most important event in direct sales. Use promo code podcast to receive a 20% discount on your ticket purchase. That's D2DCon.com, promo code podcast. Now, back to the show.
Let's jump into marketing a little bit, though. I'm actually really curious. What about marketing do you love so much? And how did you learn it? Because you didn't go to school for it, right?
So actually, I did go to school for marketing.
Oh, you did?
But I didn't finish.
Uh-oh.
Because my career took off. And I think at the end of the day, experience, like real hands-on experience, is more impactful than reading about other people's experience. I'm not saying I'm not going to finish, but I literally am like two semesters away.
You're 2 semesters away from
finishing.
Oh my God.
But then I had 2 kids in 2 years. And during that same time, my career took off, and then COVID. And I was just like,
yeah, no.
Also, that's what if I need it. But at this point, I have so much experience. I'd rather say that than talk about
a piece of paper.
So
yeah,
I don't really love that very often, but I do want to put that out there. I think that a lot of people think that success is like a sales process, and it's a certain way. It's not. Mm-hmm. It changes, and it changes every day. Mm-hmm. But you have to adapt, So
totally.
With marketing, with what I love most about it is I love data. I love numbers. Mm-hmm. I love processes, but I also love people. And I think when I was in sales, I saw a really good mix of that. But with marketing, it's sales on a bigger scale to the point where I make an ad and I have 400,000 people look at it and we get 200 sales from it. Mm-hmm. Arguably, that's a low, that those numbers are like in marketing, you get that. But for me, it's really cool to watch minor changes affect the bigger piece. Really similar to sales when you overcome an objection or you get past a smoke screen that you thought was an objection, but it's not. And you're able to just keep the process going. Those feelings of yes, I love that feeling. And in marketing, I get that every day because I do it for so many different companies, different departments, different industries. It proves to me that the sales process can be applied to anything, whether it's door to door, whether it's a golf course, whether it's a wedding venue or a fitness center. It's all sales. It's all marketing. It's all numbers and people. And just knowing that helps me crush it. But also, I just love knowing all about that stuff. So it's just inevitable. I'm going to learn it all, and it's just going to be fun.
That's cool. So actually, going back to what you said, you were this close to getting a degree. So you basically have a formal education in marketing.
Yes.
And you also have a real world experience marketing. Yeah. Do they differ from what you were taught based off what you had to experience?
Oh, yes. The books I was reading in college, no offense to where I went, the books I was reading in college, they were published in 2008. I look at the back of the book and I'm like, I'm looking at this we don't even... So it would kill me to go take these tests and just memorize these things that aren't even applicable to what I was doing in real time. I'd be literally flying out to Kroger or Walmart or Target on the weekend to pitch to a board of investors at a different company, and I'd go back and I'd have to go take a test on Monday about the most irrelevant things.
Yeah.
And I'd have to spend time learning that and then just to see how it's different now.
Yeah.
It again goes to learning how to pivot. Everything changes all the time, and it's just understanding the basics of people and numbers and what you want to get out of stuff. So very different.
Wild.
Interesting. People don't tell you that. I feel like they lie.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, I learned a lot. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I learned a lot more in real life. So
Totally. Yeah. Because I mean, like you said, the textbooks are outdated. Was there even any digital marketing in those textbooks? Or was it all
digital marketing was one class that you had to take to get your bachelor's degree in marketing. And that digital marketing teacher couldn't even work the PowerPoint.
Really? What the heck?
I'm just throwing it out there.
It's so irrelevant.
Yeah. So
Well, maybe you don't go back and finish it. I mean, or do. I don't know. It's your call, but
yeah, I probably will just because I like to finish things.
Mhm.
But to be fair, I think having 2 kids in 2 years while working,
yeah,
and you're,
totally.
yeah, it's just a lot. So
So
I'll
much.
get around to it. But-
So I kind of want to hear like your approach to just marketing in general. Like you went from a company, got headhunted by the golf course that you're at now.
Mhm.
And so talk to me about that experience. When you went there, did you do like analyze their current marketing strategies, like personnel, what they were doing? And then did you make changes in that regard? Like what's your approach generally to a company and getting their marketing efforts to be successful?
That's a good question. I will say the first step is always knowing what they are currently doing,
Mhm.
and then knowing what they've done, and then knowing where they want to go, and then figuring out all the different pieces in between.
Yeah.
But typically it's they've done very little and they don't know what they're doing and they don't know where they want to go, but they want to go high. You know, and that's
If we just want to we want to do X revenue this year. Cool. What's the plan? We're going to do it.
so we hired you. I'm like,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I just, where I start is what's going to move the needle the most. I
Mhm.
think there's a million different ways to market a company. You could say we need TikTok and we need Facebook and we need LinkedIn and we need to have all these presence, like all these different things. But I think there's a good mix depending on what you're selling. Like, for example, I used to sell a red light therapy bed and it was $120,000. Facebook ads do not work. You know why? Because if you're buying that, you don't spend time on Facebook.
Mhm.
You need to get ads at like F1. You need to get you need to get on Joe Rogan's podcast. You need to get on massive things to get the people that you are wanting to purchase your product. Where right now I'm selling unlimited golf passes
Mm.
for a Utah golf course.
Mhm.
So where I'm going to find people that want to buy a Utah unlimited golf pass are going to be, where are most people in Utah spending their time? Are they all at the malls? Are they always driving on I-15 in traffic? Are they like what's that demographic you're trying to hit? Like who are you trying to sell to?
Mhm.
And what's the best way to get in contact with them? Not necessarily what are all the avenues, but what's the best way?
Sure.
Starting there and then expanding on it as you see the numbers.
Right.
Because once you start somewhere and you start to see where it will take you, then you start to say, oh, that was a bad direction or that was a good direction or
Mhm.
this is actually doing really good. Let's put some more money into it. But it's just having a good online presence, having a good presence with like your press releases or your magazines or whatever you happen to be featured in. I know it's different for like door-to-door stuff, so I'm trying to like adapt to it. But at the end of the day, it's a sales process and you're trying to know who your person is and you're trying to figure out how to get in front of them. And door-to-door, you get to go to their house, which is awesome. But in marketing, you have to find them.
Yeah.
You have to create that person, find them, and then keep them.
Totally.
So it's a little bit more than just
Mhm.
converting them.
What have you found to be the most successful, I don't know what you call them, categories of marketing, different, billboards, radio ads, things like that? What's been the most successful for your current venture?
My current venture right now has been meta ads, just because with what we're selling, it just gets to the people we need to get to.
Mm-hmm.
But historically, it's been trade shows.
Trade shows.
That's something where you're getting in front of the right people right away just by paying to get in front of them.
Mhm.
And even for right now, like one of the companies I'm working at is a wedding venue event center. And I could give them meta ads, but if they just go to Utah Valley Bridal Show, they're going to get a bunch of, it's just,
Totally.
it just makes more sense for them to have a higher budget in that regard versus in paid ads.
Totally. What type of ads besides trade shows, or type of marketing besides trade shows do you currently do? Do you do all of it?
So I'm doing everything.
Really?
So right now I'm actually running 11 companies. I'm the only marketing person.
What?
Yeah.
That's a
And
lot.
What's crazy is, again, I never thought I'd be in this place, but they told me that when they headhunted me. They pretty much said, look, we have a bunch of businesses that are doing decent, but we want them to do better. And we can't really afford to give you a team. And we have some direction, but we would like your expertise on this. And it was kind of like okay, let me just kind of take all this in and just digest this.
That's a lot.
So it is a lot. And I think for me, the biggest thing in not being overwhelmed and not dropping the ball on any of those is, again, just taking the time to analyze what each department needs, what each company needs, and what's going to move the needle the most. That's always what I go back to, is whatever's going to move that is what I focus on first, and then just pivot.
So do you do like all the ad copy for any meta ads? Like if they're video ads, you do the content creation of it as well. You run the ad center for Google and for Meta. You do all of that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And, it's funny, since we're talking about this, I do want to throw this out there because I think it's kind of like a pat on my back. But since I've been working at this event center, I've been able to make a lot of changes in the sales process and the CRM they use, and the KPIs that we're holding them to, and the people that we're hiring and, working with. And through that process, we were able to get into British Vogue and the US Digital Vogue.
Wow.
And it was funny because it's just me, right?
Yeah.
So I got the offer in my email, and I'm like reading it. That's so cool. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell. I was like, it's just me in my office. I'm like, that's cool,
And the sales gong to ring. Like
I'm responding to them. We're extremely interested. I will like reach out to my team to see if we can get
we will collaborate and get back to you.
Really. And then I'm calling my boss. He's the owner of all these businesses, right? And he's awesome, by the way. And I call him and I say, hey, I got this crazy opportunity. And he's like, you're sure it's real? I'm like, it's real. I'm like, it's real. And he's like, okay, let's do it, And this is where it's funny because they said, okay, we need a picture in 48 hours of just anyone in front of your wedding venue, and we'll publish it in Vogue.
Wow.
I'm like, cool. But the wedding venue's brand new, and we don't have very many pictures. And of the brides we did have an option to choose from, I personally didn't feel like they were Vogue worthy. I did it. And so I told my boss, I said, we don't have any pictures that I think we should submit. I think we should almost pass on it, just because I don't think we have what would be the best for us to put our foot forward. And he's like, well, why don't you just go hire a photographer and go get a dress and just take some pictures and just submit those. I'm like, look, bro, I am not a model. I know I'm a girl, but I do sales, I do marketing, I do growth. I'm like, no. I'm not going to have my first marketing gig be in Vogue, US and British Vogue. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. So I told him, I'm not doing that. We'll find someone else to do it. And he's like, no, you got to do it. So I made it happen in 48 hours. I had the photographer come. I got a dress. I did the photos. I'm midnight emailing Vogue. Here are our official prints. Send. They're responding. Please pay your invoice. I'm paying it. I'm like, okay. I'm literally doing the photo shoot. Wow. I'm being the model. I'm doing all of it. And that I feel is a pretty good summary of how a lot of it has been.
Did it get published?
Yeah.
So you're in Vogue.
So, well, actually, we got it 9 times.
9 times?
And that was because I sold the crap out of our business after we got in once. And they were like, oh, wow, let's just throw this in and that. And I'm like, how about this and that? And they're like, yeah, that sounds good. Literally, dude.
That's crazy.
I sold the crap out of it to the point where I got into Fashion Week because I just asked.
Really?
So I was like, if I had to do this thing where I was doing a photo shoot, totally not my thing. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it's published. I'm like, I'm going to just kind of reach for the stars here and just throw it out there and see what happens, which is my favorite thing in sales. Just ask for it and see what happens.
It's true.
You never know.
Yeah.
So I asked for tickets to Fashion Week and they're like, yeah, that sounds good. Here you go. VIP. So in the last 2 months, I was in Vogue 9 times. And I went to Fashion Week VIP, and that was just a side thing. I literally just randomly happened. But I think it's because I'm someone that will do all the different components. It's not oh, we couldn't do it because of this person or because of that. I was like, no, we just made it happen.
Yeah.
What we had to do, just make it happen.
Pound to clown.
So,
that's what it takes.
Literally.
Hey, you said it was your boss that was you just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him because
no.
I mean, sometimes you just have to, especially if you don't have a department or a team, to see things to fruition or make things big things happen.
Do it yourself, man.
You got to do it yourself.
Even if you're scared, even if you're a shy person that never thought they'd be doing sales or be in magazines or modeling, you're like, you know what? I did it for the plot of having a good career and moving my career up. That's I'll do it. So.
That's rad. Some Subway to Vogue.
Literally. But yeah, I honestly don't even care about that. I just wanted to do sales stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of just telling how it worked out.
So do you do sales for these companies as well? On top of marketing? If you have to call and close or whatever that looks like?
What's funny is they don't expect me to. My boss is like, please don't, because you have better things to spend your time on. Mm-hmm. But after I got headhunted, they showed me all the different businesses they were working on. They're all awesome, doing good, but we want to do better. And as I went in to start marketing for these different departments, the wedding venues, the one I started with, I realized I could give you guys 1,000 leads right now, but you're not going to convert them because you guys don't know how to sell.
It's so true.
And I had a really hard time with that because the first month gave them tons of leads, and then marketing kind of had to sit there and say close them, kind of like an SDR to an AE. You know, like close them. And I just could not just sit on my butt and let them not close them.
Yeah.
So I begged my boss. I was like, please, I will do it on the weekends. I'll do it after hours. Let me train them.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, fine. You know? So I'm like, okay, so I'm training these people. They're not getting it. And I was like, okay, here's the thing. The process works. The product's good. And these people are just not like, no matter what I did, they just were like angry. It was always excuses. It was just, And it got to a point where I cleared the entire house of all employees.
Really?
And I said, here's what we're going to do, guys.
Wait, so you got the power to fire salespeople?
So it was 8 people. And I worked with all of them extensively to the point where if they were going to get it, they would have gotten it. It wasn't they weren't getting it. They were arguing and they were just, the ego is just so like, no matter what I did, they were not on the same team. And I said, you know what? If I have to run this wedding venue for a month by myself while I do other things in marketing to get a process built, to get us on a CRM that actually has automated reporting, to get us to a place where we understand our customer is and like what we're trying to sell. Like if I have to do that, I will. My boss is like, look, you can let them go, but you can't just let the ball drop. Like if you're going to let them go, you have to fill in the spaces. Like I'm at weddings dressed up, like helping brides. I'm taking tours. I'm taking phone calls. I'm converting sales. I was just like, you know what? I don't take excuses from people because I practice what I preach to the point where I have no problem saying, bull crap. You have one car, you can't come in today. Guess what? I also have one car. You know what? You were sick. Guess what? I was sick yesterday. Like I hold people accountable because I hold myself to that same level. And so when I did that and I cleared house of the wedding venue, we got a new CRM, got a new process. I made the process. I did the process myself. I watched the conversion go up. I watched the differences of trying different ways to overcome objections, or I watched the different pricing structures, how it affected sales. And after that month of doing it by myself, I said, okay, I'm ready to hire people. We went and found people. I interviewed them. I trained them. And then guess what? Last month, 31 out of 39 tours, they closed.
Dang.
All the months before that, they were closing 2 to 5.
2 to 5?
Out of 1,000 leads.
2 to 5. And then went with a fresh slate of people to 31. That's a nice jump.
And that was less leads, less marketing, but we had to focus on the sales.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, Vogue's reaching out and our wedding venues being featured in magazines. And now we're having all this success. And it's because the experiences that people are having when they go in there, that the marketing they're seeing online and the presence that I've built, not only with the sales process and with the customers that have become customers, they're being taken care of because the process is taking care of them. It's just this like beast I built, if you will.
Sure.
And then when I got that recognition with Vogue and my boss was like, no, you have to do it. I was like, no. I just built it. I don't do that. I'm going to move on to the next business. Right. And so now that we built that and that's successful, it's doing awesome. And it's really fun. We have the right people in there. They're trained. They're passionate. They love it. They know why they're doing it, their process. Yes, they have people that come in and say, like, give them an objection they don't know. But at the end of the day, as long as they know how to overcome objections in general, it doesn't matter what they say to you.
Totally.
And yeah, so that was huge for me to get that rebuilt. And so to answer your question, yes, I do sales only because it served me in marketing to not be pumping leads to something that wasn't
totally
producing.
Absolutely. 3 weeks ago, I had this lady on the podcast who runs a digital marketing agency down in Phoenix. And that was one of my questions to her. I'm like, she does like companies hire her. I don't know if it's similar to you. And she'll just like build out their marketing, not like consulting, but like she's like a fractional employee, so to speak. And she'll like, build out their marketing department. And I was like, where do you see the problem between the synchronicity in sales and marketing? Because I feel like if you have a fabulous marketing team,
it's a great question,
and a bunch of dud salespeople that are, and there's no synchronicity, there's no fluidity. It's like, it doesn't matter if sales is great and marketing sucks, or marketing's great and sales sucks. It's just not going to work. So when you went in and you kind of cleaned up house, what are the differences between the salespeople that you have now, like what makes them so good versus what there was, and what were you looking for in those specific? And you said you did the hiring, right? What were you looking for in these salespeople that make them way better than the last batch?
I would say the desire for growth, but not only just the desire. I think a lot of people want to be successful. A lot of people want to be a part of a business that's growing. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Totally.
What means something to me is that
everyone can say that, right?
They can tell me what they've done in their past that has like where they've gotten to because of like, for example, me, I started at Subway, right? And I'm here, right? And I can tell you how I got here. It can't just be like, I want to do this because it sounds fun to me. No, I want you to come into the interview and say, hey, I am passionate about people because I want to make a difference because of this, that, and the other. And I want to be here in 5 years. Well, guess what? I can get you there if you follow this process and you do these things, right? So it's really having a why and having them know what that why is, because you can't teach a why to someone, a why being like why you do what you do.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people are aimlessly in sales or marketing, not having a why. And when you have a sales team of people that are just kind of like, I'm just showing up, man. Like, I'm just here. Like, I hope it works out. Like, those are not the people that are capturing all your low-hanging fruit and overcoming people that may have been like lost other people. Like, those are the people that are just probably missing out on more than half the low-hanging fruit. Oh, sorry. So for me, I wanted to find someone that was going to, outside of me motivating them on the days that I'm not there, I'm not around anymore, they have a why to drive them to motivate themselves, because that's the one thing I can't give them. So I have to look for that to make sure it already exists before I hire someone. And no one in that initial group had that. All they had were excuses. And I think once they cash in all those excuses and put some time into themselves and figure out what their why is, then they can come back and I'm willing to work with them. But that's the biggest thing I look for, because I know I had a why. Even at Subway, I had a why. And it changes all the time. But every day, even again today, it's like, what's my why? Okay, why am I going to do this? Like, if I don't have that, there's no way I'm going to do anything, even if I want to.
Yeah.
You have to have a why.
For sure. So a lot of the people that listen to this podcast are door-to-door business owners. A lot of them simply door-to-door, no marketing. A lot have marketing departments. What would be your advice to anyone listening that has a business, that has a sales and marketing department, that they feel like maybe they just aren't synced or one is doing better than the other? What would be your advice to get both teams firing and in unison, if that makes sense?
Yes, that does. And again, since I did this, I've done it on small scales, and then the company before where I'm at right now, I did it on a very large scale. I would say the biggest thing is that the marketer needs to understand, even the marketing team, marketing director, whoever, they need to understand who's on their sales team and what that looks like. I think it's a mix, it's a balance of two, because you could say a large company, they're not going to know everyone that's selling for them, right? But if they know that there's a standard of the culture or a standard of what they hire to, they know, no, we only hire high performers with grit. Like, I worked at Sales Rabbit. That was one of the harder jobs I had to interview for, because they make sure you know what you're doing.
Were you marketing for them?
Oh. So funny enough, when I got non-competed out, I couldn't do marketing, and there was some weird like sales things I couldn't do either. But I got in as an SDR with Sales Rabbit, and this was only after I had led massive teams and after I'd already done tons of sales and marketing stuff. It was kind of just like I'd rather not be unemployed, even though I feel like I could be doing more than this. But I knew there's a lot to learn from that company. So when I was an SDR there, I was selling to door-to-door managers. And guess what? To sell to a door-to-door manager, you need to know their pain points. You need to know their team. You need to know what they want. You need to know all these things, which again, tie back to marketing. That's your ideal customer, right? But I've had to learn not only be a door-to-door person, but sell to door-to-door managers and door-to-door guys by understanding, like, look, I understand how frustrating it is when you don't know who's living at the house, or you don't know if they're a homeowner, or like if like there's just so much. And there's between sales and marketing, people think they're just two different departments. In my experience, they have to be hand and foot. And it doesn't have to be every person hand and foot, but it has to be the higher ups hand and foot. Because if you're not, I could put out an ad that says XYZ, but the sales rep is selling on this pain point, not that pain point. But if they sold it a different way and we work together to approach, like I put this ad out and you go and call that person, or I give you a customer's name and you go to their house or whatever it may be, I need to be giving you this for a reason. You need to understand why. And vice versa. I don't want you to be wasting your time. I think a lot of people just waste their time on leads because they're not communicating. Like, this person thought they were getting this because the ad said that, but the sales team was like, I didn't even know about that. Like, it's seriously just like weekly staying in touch with like, how are you going to sell this? How are you going to frame it? How are you going to position it? How are you going to sell it? Like, that needs to be in sync.
Totally. So you make sure that the salespeople are aware of the ads.
And positioning. Like, if we're saying it this way, they need to be selling it this way. And it can't be, well, I'm saying it this way, sell it how you want. No. We're marketing it this way. You have to sell it this way. And again, there's variation to that. But at the end of the day, you're going to be selling on like, well, if it's a discount for like roofing, for example, it's like a roofing repair or something, you know, you don't want to go around and have them sell like about Christmas discounts. Like you want to be like, no, like we have an ad out, like we're talking about this, like it has to be, they know what is being presented to the customer. The customer can't be the only one seeing both sides. We have to see both sides too, at all times. So
100%. So you mentioned earlier that like you feel like your marketing career is tenfold better because of your time in sales, which I completely agree with, because I'm in marketing now as well with a background of almost 10 years door to door. And it definitely helps. So I'm curious your take as to like what pieces or what elements of selling that you implement into your marketing approach or your copywriting or whatever.
Yeah, that's a great question. I love the copywriting. I think is my favorite when it comes to the migration of sales and marketing, because in marketing, especially in college, you learn different ways to put content out, whether it be you are trying to sell an emotion or you're trying to convince them, like there's just different ways, you know? But with sales, when you understand, okay, I've talked to someone just like this ideal customer. Right. I'm trying to sell a golfer that's 25 to 30, its income is in this range, lives in Utah. Guess what? I know 10 guys just like that. I know how to sell to them.
Totally.
But I only know how to sell to them because I've been on those doors. I've called those people. I've had people scream at me, hang up on me. I've experienced that myself to know I'm not just putting into ChatGPT, here's my demographic, how do I target? Like I have memories of how I did that. And so that's where I think that marries beautifully, is that it's not just me trying to collect data and make a guess. It's collecting my experiences and saying, okay, well, based on my experience, here's what I would do. And that's where marketing in school, they say, well, here's other people's experiences. Now learn them and then apply them. And it's like, that's great. I learned a lot. I'm not going to take anything away from that. But to be able to say like, no, I know if I try 7 times, sometimes people need 7 times of overcoming their objection. And then they're like, okay, fine. I know that sometimes if I get up at 6, I'll be giving away that sale. And I was one objection, like I was one away. So I know with marketing, if it's I put an ad out and it's not like the way I want it to be, like it didn't get the results I wanted, I know that I was probably really close, but there was some tiny thing wrong.
Right.
Because I've been on those sales calls. I've talked to people where I know that tiny change I make on the next call, the next prospect I talk to, I make that tiny change and it works. And I'm like, oh, gosh, like I'm like mad at myself for not knowing that earlier, you know, but when you learn those things, you don't forget them.
Totally.
And they just stick with you. So.
Absolutely. If I were to ask you throughout the course of every ad you've ever put out in any different genre, is that the word?
Yeah.
If I were to ask you, can you pinpoint the most, like the one ad that had the highest conversion? Could you do it?
Yes.
What was it? What made it so good in your opinion?
So what made it so good in my opinion was it was so targeted.
Really?
It was so like, I didn't care if I only wanted this specific demographic to see. I only like, it was more targeted than the rest of my ads. And I typically do like a larger reach of like 25 to 50 or like different ages or whatever it is. But there was an ad I put out that we wanted to specifically fill I don't want to go into too much detail, but I'm trying to like want to be generic here, but we were trying to get more memberships. And part of that process was figuring out, okay, well, what kind of members do we want to attract more of? Because I can go get you 10 more members, but do you want 10 more members or do you want 10 members that live nearby that have higher income that's not going to cancel in X amount of months?
Yeah.
And so when you target people like that, you're going to have less people respond to you, but the ones that do respond to you, they're your ideal customer and they'll stick with you as long as you don't mess it up. So for me, that was really cool to see with that ad. It got a lot of exactly what we were looking for because we were so targeted. And it taught me that sometimes you do smaller campaigns to be more targeted than it is to put a bunch of money into something and just be like, we'll see what happens.
Just a shotgun blast.
Yeah.
So do you feel like it's more important, like the ad itself, the copy or the content or the targeting? Or is it could be either based off of the specific product and the desired result?
That's a good question. I think if the content's good, but it's the wrong people, it doesn't get you anywhere. And if it's content's bad, but it gets you the right people, it might get you somewhere. So I would say, what was the third one you said? Content, copy, and...
Content, copy. I think that was it.
Okay, yeah. I think they're both equally important, but I think that both of them have to kind of like sales and marketing be hand in hand. And it's just part of the marketer's job before they spend money on anything to do that research. Just like it's a sales rep's job to do the research on either the customer or understand the product or understand what their goals are or their why. It's the same background that's required to be a salesperson as it is in marketing. Just do your research beforehand. I think equally important. But if I had to choose one, I would say that the person that the demographic you're going after is probably the most, because As long as I see it, that's what matters.
That's that, like you said, even if the ad is not ideal, but it's to the desired person that could buy regardless, probably going to get a better result than if it's an amazing ad to someone that has no interest or relevance to whatever it is. So that makes sense. 100%.
At least low-hanging fruit, I guess that's what it is. If it's the right person, but the ad's not the best, you'll get the low-hanging fruit from it. But if it's a good ad and it's not the right people, you're not getting any low-hanging fruit because they don't care.
Yeah, for sure. Going back to sales a little bit, especially with like what you just had to do with where you're at. It was at your current role, right? Okay, cool. Where do you see like the most sales teams getting stuck in regards to the 3 Ps that you talked about? People, process, or product?
I would say where I see overall people or my people?
Overall. In your experience.
In my experience, I would say the process. And it's because people think that they know better than human psychology. And at the end of the day, it's like you can fight the system, but the second you give in to following the right process, it's a process because it works.
Yeah.
And it works because you believe in it, and it works because you're doing it the right way.
Totally.
So that's where I think, again, the ego gets in the way of people performing the process accurately. And once that's fixed, it's a big part of it, but that's the biggest place I see people get stuck.
Okay. And you mentioned that you added a 4th P, right?
Yeah.
To the 3 Ps, performance.
Yes.
What gave you the realization that that's equally as important as the first 3?
So when I first started in my sales career, I was trying to read tons of books and trying to educate myself. And early on, I became a manager at that Medicare brokerage. And I actually had a team of 80 people under me. I was 22.
Wow.
And I still did not have a college degree, just went from Subway to being non-competed out. Yeah. So now I'm running a team and I'm like, okay. So I'm, of course, researching like crazy to try to figure out like, how do I become the best version of me, And that's when I was like, wow, there's a lot that I could improve on. But in that process, I really tried to apply as much as I could and just kind of trial and error it. Kind of like in marketing where they tell you other people's experience, you're supposed to just trust it. But if you have your own experiences, it's a lot more powerful. So I tried focusing on for my team I had at that point in time, I tried focusing on the process, making sure everyone knew what the process was. We were all good. I had the right people on my team. I'd make sure there was no one that I was like worried about or like could be like a possible bad seed, if you will, And then the product, making sure that my product knowledge was good. The company was up to date on what they needed to do to keep that good. And then the people that were helping sell it, they were also aware of what the product was. And even with focusing on those 3 things, my team was not number 1, which why would they be? I'm literally brand new.
Right.
But I remember just focusing on those 3 things, I got really close to being number 1. And the company had 2,500 people in it. And my team had 10 of our 80 in the top 20.
Wow. That's a lot.
And for me, I'm over here like, what's going on? Like, I'm just reading books. I'm applying it. I'm just, kind of slinging stuff. But I've had enough good experience that I'm like, it'll work eventually. I just got to keep trying.
Totally.
So I was focusing on the people, the product, the process, and just learning like leadership and like motivation and mindset. And at the end of the day, all that matters is that you're making profit and there's performance. And as much as you want to focus on the other things, they're all ingredients. But I remember reading about when they said people, process, product, they said, don't worry about performance. It's a byproduct of focusing on the people, product, and process. And I remember trying that and being like, no, it's not. You have to equally focus on the performance as you do the product and the people and the process. And if you don't equally focus on that, you're going to just be stuck in this like, well, our people are happy and they're good and the product's good and the process is good, but we're not converting, but don't worry, it'll come.
Yeah.
No, it needs to be an equal pillar, And so that's where I was never able to fully articulate it as well as that at that point in my career. But I remember my team, when we went from having 10 of our 80 people on the leaderboards, we were able to get up to, I think it was like 15 or 16. But even that, like, that's still crazy.
Really?
And it's because I really practiced with my team, focusing on, yes, your process. Yes, what we're selling. And yes, you're good. You're here. You're ready. You have your why. But what I care about is what your goals are. If you're hitting your goals, what are the KPIs I'm going to hold you accountable to help you hit those goals? That is an equal component. And so taking that to the venue I display worked at to help increase their revenue and their tours and bookings, I realized that as I rebuilt the process, yes, I can get a new CRM. Yes, I can clean house and get new people. Yes, I can build a new process and train them to it. But if I don't also build out the KPIs, the follow-up schedule, if I don't build out like what their goals are, what they did to hit their goals, like that has to be built out and equally attended to.
Mhm.
And then once I did that, it was kind of like, I knew it was going to blow up because I've done it before, but it's just so fun to be like, I feel like I found this like secret sauce. You know what I mean? It's just like a really concise way of saying, you focus on anything in a business, people, process, product, performance. Don't forget performance. It's not a byproduct. It's equally needs to be focused on.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could
Write a book one day, guys.
Yeah, write a book one day and just double down on the performance, because it's like anything. It's like action. It's like you can have everything else right, but if you don't perform, it's all for naught, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
None of it matters if your performance isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the content thing, right? It's like, yeah, you have an amazing ad, amazing deal, amazing company, but you're marketing to people in Russia.
Totally. Yeah.
It's like you're not going to get anything. It's like you're wasting your
Come
time.
golfing in Utah.
Literally.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love it. Thinking back on your door-to-door days, what was your favorite part of the sales process? If you think about like knocking the door, pitching all the way till sign contract, here's the next steps, high fives out the door. What was your favorite part of that whole process?
I know the answer to this because I have thought about this before. My favorite part are the trial closes where you're kind of testing the water.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're doing your process and you're like, okay, it's going well, but you don't know anything until you trial close. And you trial close them and you're like, it's kind of like, oh, crap, do I need to pivot or am I good?
Yeah.
And then once you're like, oh, I'm good, you're like, hey, so you keep going. And then it's like, you trial close them again. They're like, oh, I'm not good. Okay. Kind of adjust.
It's like
and it's like,
check.
yeah.
Where are we at?
Yeah. And
Scale 1 to 10. Are you falling so far? Or where are you at? I'm at a 2. It's like, dude, you've been looking at me like we're a 10.
you're
Holy cow, I got a navigator. It's like, if I can make them like everything you follow and tracking, yeah, it's like, cool. If this were to make sense, would you want to do it? Like, yeah, it's like, okay, let me explain more. You're like, oh, I'm solid.
Yeah.
I like that.
They're letting me steamroll and I'm good.
Yeah.
Being like, we're going.
Totally.
So my favorite part is that, but I would say that is my favorite part. But my favorite part, because it's hard, is again, like I said, coming across new things you haven't heard before. Because I know a lot of sales reps, like you said earlier, it's scary when they take you off your process. But at the end of the day, if you have a fail safe, kind of like a no matter what they say, I say this kind of thing.
Yeah.
That will get you through until you can at least think of how to pivot. And that saved me more times than not, where I get an objection and I'm like, yeah. And that is where having different things that you've practiced beforehand, whether it be before you go out knocking, the night before, like at nighttime or whatever, like you have to put that time in so that in those moments, you're not like, You have to put that in ahead of time. And I think what's cool for me is when I do put that time in, whether it be I'm Saturday night, Sunday morning, I'm over here like going through my flashcards of like practicing how to overcome stuff. When those do come up in conversation and I'm just like, boom, like that feeling is like, oh, and it only is gratifying because I put that work in when I was in my pajamas, like so tired. My kids are screaming at me and I'm like I literally, that is so gratifying to see that in action and have it turn into money.
Totally.
Those are my two favorite things.
Absolutely. What was your best approach to overcoming objections? Like, what was your process with that?
I feel like there's different ways to do it. My favorite way, like kind of my fail-safe way, if I were to teach someone that doesn't really know how to overcome it, would be AIOC, like the acknowledge, isolate, overcome, close. And I like that because it's really specific. It's like really general and it's also specific at the same time. So I could tell someone in any industry, do this, and they'll be like, hey, well, how do I isolate it? Or how do I overcome it? Well, there's variables to that too. But as you grow into your sales career, you realize, okay, there's different ways to acknowledge. I can always say like mirror back to them what they say, or I can like, there's different ways to do that. But AIOC, that's my biggest thing for objections. And I'm always practicing what that looks like in different ways. So that way I can have different variations of it. But it's always helped me doing that process, even if I do it 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
Is this your only problem? Like isolating, like, is this the only thing holding you back from signing this? Oh, if that's the case, here's a discount. Now we're good, right? Like moving that along versus if it's a smoke screen where they're just kind of blowing smoke at you, like, oh, I can't today because my brother's out of town. Oh, okay, I understand that. And then trust statement, and then just redirect them, right?
Yeah.
But if that doesn't work, then you have to actually overcome it and sit down and say, okay, what is the problem? Let me overcome it, and now I'm going to move you on to the next step. So those are my 2 favorite ways to overcome those.
For sure. That's really good. I like that. Well, unfortunately, our time is coming to a close. Is there anything you want to share with our door-to-door audience before we do that?
Yes, I will say excuses don't get you anywhere. And it's hard to be poor. It's also hard to be rich. Choose your hard because you have choices.
I love that. That's absolutely true. More money, more problems. No money, big problems. Right? Cool. And for anyone listening today that was like, oh, dude, she's got a lot of good things to say. If they want to like follow you along on your journey, where can they do that?
So LinkedIn, Dante Strom, only female Dante, you'll find me.
Nice.
Same with Instagram.
Cool. Dante Strom.
Yeah.
And are you willing to throw out any kind of promo? Because there's a lot of people listening that are Utah golfers.
Yes.
Because at the ranches, you guys offer memberships, and what else do you guys do?
So we have corporate memberships for unlimited sim lounge and unlimited golf.
Oh, wow.
Which are awesome.
Yeah.
I will offer you guys, anyone that mentions this podcast, 30% off any corporate memberships.
Whoa.
And we also have a wedding venue. It also does like corporate events, things like that, which is great. We can do a 30% for that. Any events you guys want to book with that promo. Good till the end of the year, as long as you guys book it now. And the other one is our fitness center. We have a fitness center at our golf course that is, if you guys live nearby, we'll give you guys 30% off any membership there.
And where's the ranch? Is that what part of Utah?
It's in Eagle Mountain, the very top of Utah County.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not terribly far. We have a couple of people that work here that live down there. So
it's great.
not bad.
It's awesome.
I love it. Well, thanks for joining us today and sharing some knowledge. You guys, I'm sure, got some takeaways, and go ahead and shoot her a follow. You know what to do. All takeaways, post in the comments. If you like this podcast, you know we get good guests on here. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you guys on the next one.